Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Spiffing Brit, and today you join me in No Man's Sky. Wait, seriously, today we're proving if No Man's Sky is a perfectly balanced game. No Man's Sky, quite historically, Spiff's least favourite game of all time. I mean, Ukrainian Ball in Search of Gas and Ottoman Empire Spectacular Millennium are games which I honestly rate above No Man's Sky. Yet for some reason here I am playing it because naturally the game recently went through another massive set of updates. And with updates comes exploits, and with exploits comes joyous entertainment for the crown, something which I must of course maintain. So here we are playing No Man's Sky today, where once and for all we will be definitively saying if No Man's Sky is a perfectly balanced game, or if perhaps there are exploits. Now what exploits could there possibly be? Well, I don't know, something like an unlimited money glitch. Oh yes, that could probably imbalance the game, couldn't it, Sean Murray? Yeah, Sean Murray. You know this game that was meant to launch with multiplayer? No, you waited until only a couple of weeks ago to add actual proper multiplayer to the game. Even that is not the multiplayer you promised, Sean, is it? You promised an entire universe with thousands and millions of players everywhere, but no, it's just a hub center with 32 players maximum. Thank you, Sean. What a guy. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're going to be sitting back, relaxing, and enjoying a good bit of No Man's Sky. And as always, the best way to enjoy a game is with a friend. Especially a game like this, which has absolutely no content and is about as entertaining as watching paint dry on the back of a tortoise, which died about 17 weeks ago. It's fun and entertainment for all the family, if your family is comprised of mostly just woodlice. So you know what? I think it's time we dive into this monumental game. And by monumental game, I'm not talking like beautiful art monument, I'm talking it's just a monument made of concrete. It's big, but it's just concrete. There's nothing joyous about concrete. Anyway, this game's been released. It's had a load of updates. It's added base building, it's added kind of multiplayer, it's added Minecraft. Kind of, question mark. But also it has loads of jank, lots of crashing. It's beautiful. Now ladies and gentlemen, you join me on a glorious planet. What is this planet called? Oh, hello. Thank you, Yeet communication device. This game is kind of beautiful. You land on a randomly generated planet and encounter randomly generated wildlife. Like for example, this creature over here called Sean Murray Can Suck a Fat One. My oh my, I wonder who discovered this one. Ah yes, it was indeed discovered by the Spiffing Brit. Let's upload that. Thank you, Sean Murray, for the free nanite clusters that I receive for uploading Sean Murray Can Suck a Fat One. Anyway, let's quickly hop into our ship. Oh goodness. I love the renaming capabilities of this game. It's fantastic. Anyway, so what we're going to be doing today, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to be manipulating items in this game in order to duplicate them. Now, there are various ways to duplicate items in the game that already exist. For example, you can duplicate carbon quite happily. You see, in order to duplicate carbon, all you need is carbon. What we're going to do is put 100 carbon in here, and that's going to allow us to get 50 condensed carbon. Wow. Now, condensed carbon is like carbon, just more powerful. Now, you might notice it takes 2 raw carbon to make 1 condensed carbon. So as you can see, we basically turned our existing raw carbon into around about 50 refined carbon and loaded it up inside the portable refinery to be used as fuel. Now what we're going to do is disassemble the portable refinery, and on the right you can see we gain 150 carbon as well as the portable refinery, which we can just immediately place back down. And there you go, it's back. But of course, as you remember, we received 150 carbon from that, and we still have a spare 19 condensed carbon left. Now, 150 carbon is more carbon than we started with, because for some reason when you put 50 condensed carbon in here and destroy it, you get 150 raw carbon back, meaning you get the carbon back on a 1:3 ratio. So for every 1 condensed carbon, you get 3 carbon back. Yet when it comes to creating condensed carbon, all you need is 2 carbon. So basically you're getting 1 extra carbon for each and every condensed carbon. You're turning 2 carbon into 3 carbon from literally nothing. It's fantastic. However, it's actually not really the best, because as you can see, carbon is only worth 12 units each, meaning we're only gaining, what, like maybe a couple of 100 units for doing this? That's pretty useless. If only there was a way to make more money money, ladies and gentlemen. More money, more profit, more good. So that's where my trusty companion, Connor Brow, comes in. You might remember him from our lovely Borderlands video. Well, he's here today helping me demonstrate to you, the lovely ladies and gentlemen at home, how to cheese the game. You see, we're going to be manipulating the player trading system in the game to create some fantastic setups, which are going to give us the ability to duplicate unlimited money. And we like unlimited money, don't we? So where we are in terms of actual progress in the game is only a couple of hours in. Really, you should have maybe a couple of 100 units in terms of money, which is your currency up here, and that's pretty much all you should have. It's not really an incredible amount. You can't really buy any new ships with it. It's a pretty terrible amount of money. However, if we look into our inventory, we can see that we actually have a completely full stack of gold, a completely full stack of chromatic metal, activated cadmium, and a pretty large amount of salt, which is a good representation of how I felt when this game was first released. Now you see, we found a way to basically duplicate every single item in this game, be it the cheapest item in the game, like, I don't know, a piece of dirt, to the most expensive item in the game, which I do believe is like a 1.4 million unit special item scanner or something. Well, you can duplicate it an unlimited amount of times. We basically started out with only about 200 gold, yet we've managed to increase it up to 9,999. Yet between us, we actually have much more than that. We have hundreds of thousands in terms of gold, and also the ability to get more if we need it. This game has technically become extremely trivial due to the fact that we have access to everything as soon as we find one copy of the item. Now, what we're going to be showing off is how we do the exploit, and then what you can do with your ridiculously large amount of money in a game where there is literally nothing to do other than look at the pretty landscapes. So, how do we do our exploit? So step one of our lovely and simple and easy exploit simply involves hopping into your spaceship here. So I'll jump into my lovely ship, Sean Murray Told a Big Fat Lie. Now once you're inside your ship, you simply want to hop into your inventory, and as you can see, we can transfer resources between our inventories by simply hitting the X key. We're going to move the stack of 10,000 copper worth 1.2 million from my inventory into my starship's inventory. I'll also move over the 4.5 million stack of cadmium, move over all the gold and all of the chromatic metal, and also, whilst we're at it, all of the salt. So as we can see, all of that lovely good stuff is in my beautiful starship's inventory. So I'm going to simply hop out of my starship. Now as I do that, you can see at the middle of the screen it says restore point saved. That's basically Sean Murray dropping down a fantastic save. Now this is why we can exploit it quite happily, because now that we have that save, I'm going to simply go to my starship, transfer the copper not from my starship into my inventory, but into Connor Brow's inventory. Now by doing that, we've just given our good friend Connor 10,000 copper, and his inventory is full, so I can't give him the gold. Connor, empty your inventory. Now because we've done this exploit so many times, Connor's inventory is actually completely full, so we're going to have to actually nip to the space station soon to clear it out. But as you remember, I gave him 10,000 copper, and that's basically all I've done. So it's gone out of my starship's inventory into his inventory, and what do we do next? Quite simply, I'm just going to exit from the game and jump straight back into the menu. As you can see, our last save was 48 seconds ago, prior to us moving over that copper. Now all we need to do is hop back into our game, choose the last save we have, and something magical is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Ah, fantastic, we're back in the game, and if I hit tab and look into my inventories, I can see my starship has the exact amount of copper we had. You see, Connor over here, could you please transfer me the copper which I gave you moments ago? It should be the stack of 9,993 copper. There we go, I get my stack of copper back, and that is put into my inventory. This is the same stack I gave Connor, which came out of my starship's inventory. However, by loading back in, we now have two of the same stacks, because I gave him one, and for some reason my starship decided to keep a duplicated copy of it, meaning we've just doubled our money, and we've gained 1.2 million in the span of a couple of seconds. Now, what's it like from the other perspective? Well, Connor, could you please hop into the ship, put all of your items in there, drop a save, and then transfer everything back to me, and we'll see how much money we can get in a fantastic duplication run. Now, bearing in mind we haven't made this perfectly efficient, there are probably better resources you can do this with, but the resources we found which were quite easy to get and quite valuable were gold, because they're 353 units each, cadmium, which is quite good, it's 450, and salt, which is 300. All very good, easy resources to trade with. Now, as we can see, Connor over here is transferring all of his inventory over from his ship, and remember, we're going to be ending up with two copies of this, one which exists in his ship, one which exists in my inventory. However, because we are both currently technically on the same timeline, that ship over there is empty, and and my inventory is full. All it takes is for him to jump out, exit from my current save and timeline, and simply load back into his original one. So we're going to see him pop in a couple of seconds time. Oh my, it's magical. And there we go. Suddenly he's back. I have a full inventory worth of goods, and also his starship is absolutely ram-packed with stuff. You know what, to prove that this has actually successfully worked, could you please transfer the stack of silver which you have in your ship? It should be roughly 4,506, because that is, there we go, I just received exactly 4,506 silver. Lovely stuff. As you can see, basically we doubled the amount of silver we have, raising our silver up to a beautiful value of 1.6 million. Now there we go. As we have our stacks of duplicated items, I think it's time we go sell some of them. So we're going to teleport over to our nearest starbase and sell a ridiculously large amount of goods. Now once you've teleported or flown to your nearest galactic hub, all you simply need to do is find this beautiful galactic trade terminal. Lovely stuff. And what we want to do is simply sell items from our inventory. Now we have some pretty valuable items. As you can see, we have a ridiculous stack of 10,000 ionized cobalt, which we're going to sell completely for 4 million units. And away it all goes. And suddenly you can see all of the achievements starting to rack up. Oh yes, we've just gone from having only 100,000 units right up to having 4 million. Oh my, it really is fantastic. And of course, don't forget the chromatic metal as well. So we're going to sell all of that off, glorious stuff, and the stack of gold. And now I suddenly have 11 million units, which is certainly more than I probably should have access to at this stage of the game. But it's going to allow me to go from my lovely spaceship over there to a spaceship which is much more valuable, like say this one here. So even though we have made basically no progress in the game, I'm going to immediately buy a very nice looking spaceship. So this lovely spontaneous alien life form over there here has a beautiful ship, a B-class ship, bearing in mind ours was a C. This is much better, and it has so much more storage space. Look at that. Now this ship, I imagine, is going to be much more valuable than my ship. Yes, yeah, my ship valued only 385,000. This one is 12 million, and you know what, we can just straight up buy the entire thing. It's better in every single regard. I mean, look at it, it's got 30 slots whereas ours only has 15. It's so much better. So naturally that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to buy this nice, great big, expensive ship. There we go. We've sadly sold. Sean Murray told a big fat lie, but instead we have gained this massive brand new ship. Oh my goodness, it's huge. Look at all of the fantastic storage space we now have access to. Now when it comes to actually fighting in this game, you can own these beautiful, gorgeous looking spaceships. I mean, just look at them. They're fantastic, and you can shoot or you can use the guns of the spaceships to mine asteroids. Like for example, this asteroid in front of us, bam, we shoot it, we get some silver. But you'll notice if we hold down our shooty laser, the bar in the top right rises and we're slowly going to overheat. Oh no, how terrible. However, if you just download a literal basic find on, I don't know, Safari or Firefox auto clicker, suddenly by holding down the auto clicker, the game decides, even though you are shooting as fast as normal, we shouldn't actually add overheating to your gun. So for example, non-auto clicker, oh no, gun's overheating, I could only fight for so long. With auto clicker, actually the gun's cooling down even though it's shooting just as fast. Thank you game, it just works, doesn't it, Sean Murray? Now after selling 10,000 worth of our gold, as you can see, the value of gold has absolutely crashed. It's down 82%. Now selling a stack of 10,000 will only get us 687,000 units, which is a lot of money, but it's not fantastic. Now because the prices have crashed in our system, we're simply going to buy a hyperdrive module and load it onto our brand new starship, and we're going to be using this lovely hyperdrive module to simply exit the system we're currently in and move to a system where the prices are back to normal. So to allow us to go to a system where the prices are more favorable for our item duplication, I've installed a beautiful bog standard hyperdrive which you can get exceedingly cheap, and I'm going to be using this to simply travel to the nearest system where hopefully the gold prices are much better, and away we go. I'll tell you what, you know it's a good game when you've got to waste a good maybe 5 to 6 hours on the tutorial. That's how you know it's a premium game, which 100% certainly won't just have you pulling all of your hair out with its fantastical repetitive features. The kind of fundamental idea of the game is that you have a core gameplay loop, which is fun, enjoyable, rewarding, and it makes you feel good. This game, well, it's just got none of that, has it? No, it really doesn't. But I'm sure there's fun there for someone. Yep. God, I tell you what though, I would genuinely never have to play this more than I have to. I mean, imagine streaming this game. Sure, it's got a multiplayer of 32 people, but God, I don't know if I couldn't physically bring myself to stream this game. It'd be terrifying. Not even if 20,000 people in the community told me to. I don't know, maybe like 30,000 maybe, but 20,000, no way. No. This game, it's too much of a suffering. Anyway, we're almost done with the tutorial segment, and with that, we can finally leave this system. And now that we've traveled to this new system using our glorious, fantastical hyperdrive technology, which doesn't cost us that much at all to hop from system to system, maybe a couple of thousand, that's all. But by doing so, we've managed to tap into a brand new market in which, for example, the price of chromatic metal is only 11% beneath where it should be instead of the previous 90% where we left it on. So bam, that's another 2 million. Gonna sell our gold for 3 million, the silver for 1.6, the cadmium for 4.5, and oh my goodness, it's fantastic. And there we have it. We now have 30 million if we include the value of our ship, an absolutely astounding amount of money to have this early in the game. God, you know, I'm done with this game. I really am. I just can't anymore. We've done enough. We've done enough for this game. I can't play it anymore, Connor. Let me get some CSGO back in my blood. Oh God, I'm gonna need water, CSGO, and oh God, just maybe a 24-hour session of OpenTTD to get me back into good gaming. Anyway, for goodness sake, I've been the Spiffing Brit. This has been No Man's Sky, a game I intend to never, ever return to. No matter what they add to this game, my goodness, this game, we've exploited it. We're never revisiting it again. There's no need. We've done it. We are not returning, no matter how many of you might ask. It's not happening. It is 100% not ever happening. Honestly, we're more likely to see myself become literally the god of the entire known universe before you are going to probably see me return to No Man's Sky. Anyway, as always, huge thank you to patrons. They make these bloody stupid videos possible where I sit down for literally 12 hours with a mate and have to sit through the worst gaming experience ever created. So thank you very much for your donations. They go a very long way. And if you want a real video to watch next, hopefully a game which is much better, which is almost certainly guaranteed on this channel, then go for this one on screen now. It's been handpicked by myself. It's going to be perfect, trust me. Don't you worry. God, so glad this game's over. This video is sponsored by Squarespace, Dollar Shave Club, Audible, Audacity, Yorkshire Tea, Tetley, the Queen herself, just about everyone, excluding Hello Games, the creators of No Man's Sky, sponsored this video. So go down into the description and use referral code No Man's Sky is the worst game in the universe to get 20% off everything in existence. Right, that's enough of this video. I'm done. I'm completely done. Oh, thank God it's over.